Switzerland is known as a global paradise, synonymous and luxury, but it was once one of the poorest nations, with zero natural resources. How did they do it? Modern Switzerland is often described as a global paradise, a nation synonymous with immense wealth, luxury, and a per capita GDP that ranks among the highest on Earth. But back in the early 1800s, Switzerland was one of the most impoverished and geography-cursed countries in all of Europe. The nation faced a severe geographic disadvantage. Completely landlocked, with 75% of the territory covered by impassable mountains, the terrain made large-scale farming and internal connectivity almost impossible. While neighboring powers used massive reserves of coal, iron, and gold to build their industrial empires, Switzerland possessed no natural wealth. They had no minerals to mine and no oil to drill. By 1816, the resulting poverty led to mass starvation. Swiss citizens were forced to eat grass, moss, and tree bark to stay alive, while children were sent on foot to Germany to work as manual laborers. This raises a central question. How did a starving, landlocked population on a frozen rock engineer a path to becoming the world's richest nation? During the mid-19th century, the expansion of the railway dropped transportation costs by 95% across Europe. While Britain and Germany built empires on rail, Switzerland remained isolated, with goods still being moved by handcarts. In 1852, a businessman and politician named Alfred Escher proposed a railway act to connect the country. His vision was viewed as impossible, as the nation had neither the flat land for tracks nor the capital to fund them. To solve the funding crisis, Escher bypassed foreign lenders and founded a bank, rolling out 3 million oversubscribed shares to the Swiss people. This institution provided the domestic capital required for the project and eventually became Credit Suisse. The project faced a massive physical barrier, the Alps. This 3-kilometer-high wall of stone sat directly between the industrial centers of Germany and the Mediterranean trade routes of Italy. Escher initiated a 10-year project to drill a railway line directly through the heart of the mountain range, an engineering feat that would link northern and southern Europe. The Gotthard Pass tunnel reduced a dangerous 3-day journey over the peaks into a predictable 8-hour trip. By drilling through its primary geographic obstacle, Switzerland transitioned from a landlocked casualty into the indispensable transit conduit of Europe. Escher had the capital, but Switzerland lacked the domestic talent to build his vision. The country had no engineering colleges and no specialists capable of executing such complex infrastructure. In 1848, revolutions swept through neighboring monarchies. As governments in France, Austria, and Italy began arresting and suppressing intellectuals, a wave of political instability pushed thinkers out of their home countries. Switzerland utilized a strategic policy shift, writing a constitution that guaranteed free speech, assembly, and a free press. This made the country the only reliable sanctuary for intellectuals in Central Europe. Exiled geniuses, including figures like Richard Wagner, fled to Switzerland to avoid arrest warrants. These individuals brought with them specialized knowledge that the Swiss domestic population lacked. These refugees helped establish world-class universities, including the Federal Polytechnic in Zurich. This institution created a high-density talent pool that eventually produced Albert Einstein and generations of elite engineers. Switzerland solved its talent deficit by providing political asylum. They successfully imported the world's most brilliant minds at zero cost to the state. Beyond infrastructure, the country still lacked the raw materials needed for exports. Switzerland had no cocoa, no precious metals, and no chemical wealth. They found an opportunity in French patent law, which was so restrictive that chemists were being sued for iterating on dye formulas. Switzerland responded by allowing foreign intellectual property to be legally copied on their soil for 100 years. Chemists moved their operations to Switzerland to take advantage of this loophole. They used copied dye formulas as the foundation for a pharmaceutical sector that now generates $169 billion in annual exports. They applied this same reliance on refinement to agriculture. Because cocoa cannot grow in the Swiss climate, they specialized in the technological processing of imported beans. In 1875, Daniel Peter combined condensed milk with cocoa to create milk chocolate, while Rudolf Lindt developed the conching process to refine the texture. These innovations turned a raw, imported material into a high-value global luxury product. This focus on high-value refinement extended into manufacturing. They imported cheap iron and brass and used precision engineering to create the luxury Swiss watch export, a product that became the global standard for mechanical perfection. Switzerland circumvented its lack of natural resources by building an economy based on intellectual arbitrage, importing raw materials and selling them back as premium, high-value goods. By the late 1930s, Switzerland was surrounded by militarized, warring empires. For a small nation with no resources, being caught in the middle of World War II was a direct threat to its existence. The Swiss government capitalized on the resulting global fear by passing the 1934 banking privacy laws. These made it a criminal offense for a banker to reveal the identity of any account holder, providing a secure vault for global wealth. While neighboring currencies collapsed during the conflict, the Swiss franc became the only freely convertible and trusted currency left in Europe. As a result, the Swiss banking system became the primary financial hub for the continent. This included exchanging billions in Nazi gold for Swiss francs, cementing the nation's role as the world's most secure financial repository. By monetizing privacy and neutrality during a time of total war, Switzerland converted a terrifying geopolitical position into a massive financial asset. The modern Swiss economy, defined by its pharmaceutical dominance, luxury manufacturing, and banking privacy, is the direct result of the specific, high-risk policies enacted in the 1850s. The current state of the nation is the product of aggressive, long-term strategy rather than geographic fortune. Unlike resource-rich countries that can remain paralyzed by political debate for decades, the Swiss demonstrated that a nation can rapidly transform its limitations into assets through decisive policy execution. This outcome resulted from a sequence of generations maintaining a consistent, multi-decade strategic vision without retreating from the initial goals set in the 19th century. Ultimately, Switzerland engineered its national prosperity out of the same barren terrain that had once enforced its poverty.